I understand that you're looking to improve your blood sugar or glucose levels, as this is a common issue for many of us. Having elevated blood sugar can trigger various health problems, such as brain thrombosis, heart attacks, fatty liver, constant hunger and cravings, polycystic ovary syndrome, prediabetes, diabetes, weight gain, fat accumulation, joint pain, and even cancer. This last issue occurs because elevated blood sugar is often accompanied by higher insulin levels, which act as a growth factor. For these reasons, in this video, I want to share practical options with you. It's not a magic formula, but rather information that will help you assess and take control of your situation. It's important to clarify that if you are under medical treatment or using insulin, this content is not meant to replace your medications or suggest that you stop them, as each case is unique and requires a personalized approach. I want you to remember that glucose is essential for the body, as our cells depend on it and oxygen to produce energy. While there are other ways for cells to get energy, using glucose and oxygen is the most efficient method. Our body regulates glucose levels very precisely, maintaining a constant balance between what we use, what we have stored, and what circulates in the blood. On average, blood sugar is roughly equivalent to a small teaspoon. However, if we fail to maintain this level properly, that's when problems begin to arise. Over time, factors such as poor diet, a sedentary lifestyle, lack of muscle mass, and chronic inflammation affect the functioning of cells, reducing their ability to absorb glucose. Additionally, certain tissues begin to accumulate excess glucose. When this happens, blood glucose levels start to rise progressively, from 90 to 100, then to 110, 115, and so on. It is crucial to reduce these levels, as excess glucose circulating in the body acts as a toxin, leading to what is known as glucotoxicity. This can damage the brain, liver, retina, blood vessels, nerves, and virtually all organs. Understanding this process prompts us to reflect on the importance of reducing inflammation and improving our ability to store glucose, which can be achieved by strengthening those reservoirs. The first step is to adopt a mindful diet. If you're dealing with elevated blood sugar or glucose levels, it is crucial to eliminate certain foods from your diet, such as honey, sugar, syrups, and similar items. It's also necessary to avoid starchy foods like rice, potatoes, yuca, bananas, pasta, and very sweet or starchy fruits. It's better to exclude these foods for a while and prioritize getting your carbohydrates mainly from vegetables. Additionally, there is a recommendation backed by emerging research: consume foods in a specific order. First, eat vegetables, then proteins, and if you are going to include a starchy carbohydrate, save it for the end. If you're having issues with glucose, the ideal approach is to start with a large salad, followed by vegetables and proteins. If you're still hungry, it's better to increase your protein portion slightly rather than resorting to more carbohydrates. It's essential to control portion sizes and pay attention to the balance between carbohydrates, types of carbohydrates, fats, types of fats, and proteins. It is also ideal for daily meals to be concentrated within a shorter time frame, allowing your body to have a much longer period. For example, you can plan your meals so that the last one is around 7 p.m. and the first one the next day is at 10 a.m. This interval gives the body extended time to consume the available glucose, promoting the metabolic flexibility we aim to achieve. Exercise benefits us in two main ways, especially when we combine strength training with cardiovascular exercise. This approach is ideal at all levels. On one hand, cardiovascular exercise helps increase overall energy expenditure and has important benefits, but from a muscular perspective, running for an hour, for example, does not provide enough stimulus for your muscles. For muscles to strengthen and consume more energy, they need to experience full contractions and significant stress, from the outer fibers to the deeper ones close to the bone, something that is not achieved with cardiovascular exercise alone. When we put muscles through this kind of full effort, their energy expenditure increases much more efficiently, as muscle is the organ that consumes the most glucose in the body throughout the day. Additionally, having good muscle mass is one of the most important factors in protecting against diabetes. While it's not an absolute guarantee, maintaining adequate muscle mass represents a crucial defense mechanism against this disease. There are cases where people who eat well, exercise, lift weights, run, or play sports like football still experience high blood sugar levels. Could it be that they are consuming too many calories? In many cases, the problem is related to excess cortisol and adrenaline in the body. These elevated levels generate large amounts of glucose in the blood and block key processes like lipolysis, which is fat burning. While lipolysis depends on a moderate amount of adrenaline in fat cells, an excess of this hormone blocks the mechanism, raising levels of glucose, cortisol, and adrenaline. When the body is under constant stress, it perceives a need to release large amounts of glucose into the bloodstream, making it harder to lose weight. This is common in people who don't get enough rest, are obsessed, exhausted, stressed, or face emotions like despair, anxiety, or fear, all of which are aggravated by the stress of modern life. This stress can be mental, physical, or chemical. For example, overtraining and excessive physical wear are forms of physical stress that are often overlooked but very important. Chronic stress, in any of its forms, can prevent people from losing weight. It is important to consider other key factors, such as the state of the hormones that regulate glucose. Elevated blood sugar is often a consequence of insulin resistance. When blood glucose levels are high, it is likely that insulin levels are also elevated. In this case, the pancreas goes through two main phases. In the first phase, upon detecting insulin resistance, the pancreas significantly increases the production of this hormone in an attempt to overcome the resistance. However, over time, this excessive effort can damage the pancreas, which begins to accumulate fat, similar to what happens with fatty liver. When the pancreas fails and can no longer produce insulin, blood glucose levels become completely uncontrolled, and at this point, patients need external insulin to compensate for the insulin their body can no longer produce due to pancreatic damage. When you organize your diet properly, consume foods in the correct order, include a good amount of fiber, healthy fats, and quality proteins, and adjust portions according to your weight, height, and level of physical activity, you are taking an important step toward a healthy lifestyle. If you also exercise regularly, take creatine, lift weights, and work on managing your stress and beliefs, you will be creating a solid foundation. Once you have all of this under control, you may consider the possibility of adding supplements as a complement to enhance what you're already doing. For example, apple cider vinegar, consumed before meals, has been shown to help reduce glucose spikes after eating. It is not a definitive solution, but it can be very helpful. If you're not consuming the recommended daily amount of fiber, which is at least 35 grams, it's important to seek other sources. Check the fiber content in the natural, fresh foods you eat. For example, see how much fiber is in 200 grams of broccoli. In some cases, additional fibers like psyllium, which doesn't taste great but is very effective, may be necessary. You can also include chia seeds and flax seeds, which are excellent options. If you're struggling to meet your daily protein intake, protein shakes can be a good alternative. While not essential, they can help supplement your intake as long as you choose high-quality proteins. Regarding supplements, there are several interesting options. Berberine, which has effects similar to metformin in a natural form, inositol, especially in its myo-inositol form, which is highly effective, and magnesium, supported by recent studies highlighting its role in glucose control. Other useful supplements include chromium, preferably in the form of picolinate, cinnamon, and creatine, which can also be beneficial. For some men experiencing a decline in testosterone levels, supplements like Phaedogia agrestis or Tribulus terrestris may be helpful. In summary, what I want you to understand is that there is no magic formula to lower blood glucose levels. It is a personal process where you take control of your life, organizing it and adopting mental tools, as well as strategies to protect your cardiovascular and joint systems. At the same time, you are achieving impressive metabolic control. You are moving away from beliefs in quick and magical solutions, and what you are truly bringing to your body and life is health and consistency, which is one of the greatest purposes we seek. If you're interested in continuing to receive this type of content, I invite you to subscribe to the channel. It's very simple. Just click the red button and activate the bell to be the first to know when new videos are uploaded. And before you go, don't forget to like the video, as it helps more people find this content. Sending you a big hug. Thank you, and see you next time.